please just let me think. I'll leave. And just, I wish I could have videoed it, but I couldn't while I was packing up everything and nervous, like shaking and scared. Scared. What the fucking hell? I can't afford to get arrested on top of this and then lose this stuff and not be able to maintain everything that I'm doing, and then that would look really bad. And in the end, yes, in the end, I'll win everything if I can ever keep up. And I just like some ability to have some peace and be able to sleep somewhere, at least, like I'm a human being, get some medical care, and I couldn't even do that today. And have people not be evil pieces of shit, and this guy waste my time telling me he was going to come and bring me some food over and over again for the past 24 hours, and then not ever do that. Show up and tell me a bunch of bullshit. And I ran out of, there was really no possibility for me to go and do anything, but at least I wouldn't have got to this point where I couldn't even take any more or think about where to go from this state. And I just wanted to go be alone in the bathroom, and then I just walked and aimlessly with no plan, because if there was one, I could think of it. And I found this little quiet room in the middle of the night and just laid out with a little bit I have. And of course they found me and attacked me, just came at me like and of course all I was doing is sleeping, and at worst case law I broke was trespassing. If they had a heart, no, I don't expect them to just leave me in there, but just not be so mean and belligerent and hostile at me. I told them all the truth, and there's so much detail. They didn't care. I said, you guys don't care. You can't do anything to help me anyway. I'll just leave initially. I was getting enough. They saw the hospital tags on me and just kept on and on and on and asking me ridiculous questions that were redundant, that they didn't care about, only to escalate the situation into me reacting or being so nervous already. I said I'm autistic too, and please just let me think. I don't have that much, but everything I need, I'll just leave. I'm desperately trying to sleep, and somewhere I don't have anywhere to go, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you don't care, and you can't do anything. I just told them the basics, but they wouldn't leave it at that, threatening to arrest me, and just threatening, being mean, and just asking me questions and antagonizing me and accusing me of things and picking. I can barely think. I'm a nervous wreck. I'm a nervous, shaking, startled over again, startled. And for an autistic person, being startled and having people come at you hot like this is the literal textbook definition of torture. That's on the internet. You can Google it. Number one thing to an autistic person, no matter where they are on the spectrum, is to be startled all the time and have somebody come at them and bang on the door and call them all hours of the night and be hostile at them and never have any peace. That's literally torture. I read that. Scientifically proven. I'm not just quoting things. Anything and everything I say is a fact or based on experience or both. And here I am. So what I'm saying is I asked these young people to help me carry my stuff across the street to get to the church. And then I realized, well, no, if I fall asleep, somebody's going to see me during the day, and then I'm going to be woke up, and I go through the same thing over again by the police or some security guard, and have to fucking think when I'm exhausted, and I still have nowhere. This is my best and only choice I could do, and here it is. They were drunk as fuck, and they wouldn't shut up, but they got me into a dumpster. I'm in a dumpster. Look at this is where I am. I don't have anywhere to go. I'm surrounded by garbage. The young man pushed it to the side as best he can. Here's garbage and more garbage. Oh, here. Filthy garbage. And it's frozen to the walls and everything. I had to hurry up and put everything in my bags. I just have 2 garbage bags. And, had to think. I had to tell them basically to shut up already. Get me in here quick without being noticed. Let me use the bike to crawl up so I can get in here. Don't worry about getting me out. Figure that out later, please. I need to go to sleep. And I don't want to be seen in here. I knew enough to have certain things that no matter what, I have to be able to keep warm, keep hydrated, and really, and try to supplement my income. Just, have, just basic things like a little bit of cleaning stuff and just really not much. A little bit of extra clean clothing. Toiletries are really important. Just basic necessities. And for the love of God, isopropyl alcohol, a tin can, and some toilet paper. This burns without making any smoke whatsoever. It's non-toxic. I was doing this at the shelter. There's a video prior to this one of me doing that. A roll of toilet paper, or enough toilet paper to stuff in there, 90% isopropyl alcohol, and a little tin can. And this will keep you warm. No smoke, no odor. You can cook with this if you need to. I've explained this before. And this is the only thing I have for light other than my flashlight battery. Flashlight on my phone. I should have brought a little battery, but this is the only light I have, or it's pitch black. And this is it. I'm surrounded by garbage in a dumpster. 4:30 in the morning. In a dumpster. Because I don't have anywhere to go. No physical strength to do anything, even if I did, and no money to pay for it. And yes, I have a few people who care enough to keep me going with food as much as they can, and I don't ask for anything unless I'm desperate, so that's not very often, or a ride here and there to just like 2 people that don't give me a hard time and will help me once in a while. But then there's other things I have to deal with. These people don't have an obligation to do anything, and they've got their own lives, and that's not what I'm about, is asking for anything. It demoralizes me, and I hate myself every time I have to. And I always say I'd rather have a polite no than an angry yes. I fucking hate asking for help. I never had to until I became unhoused. And I still didn't have to. I helped myself really, really well until about 2 years ago when my back injury happened, and my family doctor in Red Deer went on to bigger and better things, and I didn't get any medical care. And my ACE workers wouldn't grant me anything. No physio, no chiro, no, even with doctor's requisitions, no emergency, just temporary emergency shelter in a motel, which I had a doctor's center for, nothing, because I was told by Melissa, Grand Prairie, it's just our office policy. It's our office policy. Office policy. Yet, not just policy of a hospital or policy of just an office policy unique to that Grand Prairie location. I'm not stupid. Before I ask for anything, which is abhorrent, I do my research and find out what I qualify for if I even need that much. I desperately did, so I made sure what if I do qualify and what I need to get it. Minimum. I've never abused the benefits that the government has. I prefer not to have to ask for help, because if you do, you have to explain why you need it. And nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody understands. No, at the end of the day, really nobody does. Really. One or the other. Really, or I wouldn't be in this position. No matter what, I've made offers. Name your price. I'll put it in writing to the Christian man who I met and who's been kind enough to help me, and he's encouraged me to go to his church and all that. And he said, well, you can't be a true Christian, and what about having a community? I said, I prefer not to have a community of people that are quite fine to leave me to freeze to death. And this is when I was still in the motel, and I had hope, and I was paying for the motel and looking for a permanent place to live, but I was still desperately putting it out there to people. Before I got to that point of being desperate and spending my last pennies. Sirens. Okay, so this fire isn't bright enough, thankfully, to alert anyone so far, or they'd be here. And it doesn't give off smoke. That would be a dead giveaway. We could have the fire department down here. I'd be fucking fined and charged, and I can't have that. So but you know what? I'm mad at God. I asked for the aliens to help me, give me a sign, and that's another video coming up. Something really wild happened after I asked for that. I don't know what's going on except exactly what I'm putting on video now. It's not getting any better. Anyway, I asked that nice Christian man, like, somebody in your congregation could take me in, I'll pay money. $1,000, $1,500 for the month. I'm paying $100 a day where I'm at. I can't even cook. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I'm quiet. I keep to myself. I don't want to come out of my room ever again. If I could go back in time, thank you. I was quite fine entertaining myself and being successful and not needing help. I'm not a social butterfly, and I don't make small talk. I'm an intellectual, and I am a get-her-done girl. And I'm not there to be in people's faces. I've got a backlog, a backup of really important things that I've got to do, or my life is I'm going to die. Literally, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Okay? And people, like anybody I know, I don't care how tough you are, how strong you are, or who you are, would have just killed themselves a long time before this. But I have a son to live for. My purpose is self-fulfilling, and people praise me almost every day when I'm out and about and know who I am in Red Deer, Grand Prairie here. I've done some really big things. That's another video. I'm well known. And yeah, I never had any kind of real self-esteem or belief in myself. But my son is my whole world. And I can't do my purpose if I don't have a home where I'm safe and secure, and it's feasible and permanent and drug-free and not chaotic, where I'm not being abused, and I'm being treated like a human being again. If I don't have that, I can't be a good mother to him. He doesn't understand, and I don't want him to. He's helped me out huge, as much as he can, but he can't. He doesn't make very much money, and he's 28 years old, and I don't want to ruin his life by telling him things, so he doesn't understand. I gave him the ability to have no problems. A mouse or something crawling on me. That's really gross. I gotta shut up. Yeah, something just crawled on me. Yeah, I'm sure there's... Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Shit. At least I'm not in a residential area. People would have heard that. So I just better shut up and get this over with and try to get some sleep while I can. It's Sunday, So I don't know what's going to be going on at the Polish. No, I don't want to say where I am. I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't want to even think about it because I don't have any control anymore. And I've tried, nobody tries harder than me. Block out pain, don't explain, don't complain, and figure it out. And keep on trying and don't give up. I have a son to live for, and I've been very successful at doing my purpose that God had for me, and in advocating for others, homeless people and vulnerable people and marginalized people, and making differences, huge differences, which is other videos. And I've got lots of credibility and big names that people can call and verify. You know? Don't take my word for anything. Everything I say, I have proof and evidence, witnesses for, factual information. This can all be verified easily. And all of this is going to come out, hopefully, before I die. I don't know. I can't do anything at all if my son's life is being ruined and his happiness is being ruined because he's worried about me. He can't help me, or he's mad at me, or he doesn't understand. He loves me. He'd do anything he could for me, but he doesn't know what to do, and he really can't do anything anyway. He can't. And I'm gonna just thank God and the aliens that it's cold enough that there shouldn't be any bugs in here. But there's some, could be worse, right? No, I can't even think about it being worse. It couldn't be worse. You know what? It couldn't be worse. Because you know what? If I was in hell, it would be non-stop pain and suffering and misery. You know what's really worse? Is having that happen perpetually, and then, but not being one to just, give up and self-medicate and do fentanyl and die. I can't do that. I just can't. And I would never do that to my son, and I know too much, and I'm too independent and resourceful and logical and capable. So that's not an option. But what's worse than burning alive for all eternity, or being in pain for all eternity, and being miserable, or being hungry, or being starving, or have some physical, or some physical pain, or something mentally taxing that is forever and for all eternity. What's worse is having these times of my effort pays off, and I make progress, and I accomplish something, and I accumulate things, and I find a place, and I'm all hopeful, and I'm happy, and I look at the bright side of everything, and I make the best of it, and I'm not paranoid or negative, and I try to keep positive and be happy and not be happy about whatever it is. It's a possibility that I make possible out of doing impossible things, and I was told that right away at the homeless shelter and Red Deer that nobody has ever seen anything like it, and I make the impossible possible. And now I can feel the ice underneath me melting, and it's just very uncomfortable. There's no way. I'd just rather be dead. I don't want to die. But if I could just have picked one of those times, God, why I couldn't have just been left unconscious and left to die naturally, where it would be explainable to my son, oh, well, your mother just went unconscious. She had kidney failure and she died. That was supposed to happen. Or your mother, she died of kidney stones, and she just died. Or your mother, your mother got roofied, and she was found unconscious, and she almost died. Like one of those times where, or I died in the house fire that happened in St. Albert. One of my, well, he wasn't a renter. I kicked him out, and this is going back to when it all started. RCMP watched my house be lit up on fire because they kicked a crackhead out. I was so naive. I didn't know that they were all crackheads, and I was advertising too low and in a beautiful mansion, blah, blah, blah. Nobody paid rent. Everybody was on crack. The RCMP hated me because I successfully sued them, and they were surveilling me 24/7, watching absolutely everything, bringing people back that I kicked out. Never once helping me refuse. Nothing. No, they were trying to collect evidence to charge me with something, and that never happened. But they watched. They knew somebody came into my home. That bugger that I kicked out, he said, "I'm going to burn your fucking house down." My house was lit up. All my chemicals for painting and doing the car business were down in my laundry room. He came in through the back door, apparently, because I leave them open for the cats and the dog. And he went down there and lit it all up. And it was the smoke. Wow, it was supposed to have killed me, the fire department said. The fire was out of control. My one cat licked my eyelids to wake me up. I was out of it. I was done. The smoke can intoxicate you, and it was fumes. And when you're sleeping, you can't smell anything. That's why you can't smell other people's farts in your sleep. You can't smell the smoke. You just slowly go unconscious, and then by the time the fire hits you, by the time you wake up, you're on fire, and it's too late. My cat, Tuffy, she licked my eyelids until I woke up. I didn't know what was going on. I walked through fire, and I carried her, apparently. I didn't know what was going on at all. I remember having no ability to see my hand in front of my face, feeling my way out. I don't even remember carrying her and walking through flames. And just being so, I don't know, done. Like not even. Anyway, 2 of my cats died in the fire. The ambulance people told me that there was an inferno. The smoke was way so high up in the air that they drove not my direction where my house was and arrived before the 911 call came in from the neighbors that I walked to, and my blood ran cold way later when I realized they were surveilling me 24/7. They were right outside. Everybody knew that. They watched that happen. They were prepared to let me die in that fire. And I had one female RCMP officer visit me in the hospital and tell me that the way I was treated by her whatever, her partners or whatever, other RCMP officers, was just horrible. A little Chinese officer. And I was just in shock, and I never even put it together until way later, and it was just way too much. I always had it in me. There's been no extra education or anything like that. But it took me a lot of blocking that out and problem solving to get through that. I never ended up with PTSD. I make a better life and solve the problems. Get away from them. I'm fine. My homeostasis is being resilient, apparently. I was told by one psychiatrist. Yeah. The only thing I better do now is just, I can feel this is not going to end well. It's not. Anyways, to make a long story short, I would have chose death if on one of those occasions where it was a miracle that I didn't die. I could have just died and have no miracle, to just keep on coming back to this. Doing my purpose and making a huge difference for a bunch of other people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. If my son has to have a tragic life and have no true happiness, really, because his mother dies tragically. And I would never commit suicide either. So I'm really at a loss. A complete loss. It meant everything to me to find a place that had had all the criteria. Why would I fuck that up? Why would I do anything wrong? The evidence supports that I didn't. And yes, I'll win in the end, right? But in the end, I don't think I can get to the end. I don't think I can get to the end, and there's no way I can live like this. Nobody can. Nobody can. When am I ever supposed to go supplement my income or go get medical testing done or do anything legal and catch up on things and follow through with anything that's important that I can do when I'm fighting for my life? And this is what I've been talking about, fighting for my life almost every day for 4 years. And the reason why my back is injured is because the RCMP in Red Deer made me pick up a tipped over shopping cart when I had no strength and energy, no sleep. I was begging and pleading, telling them I can't get off the ground, and they just swore and demanded and demanded forever and ever and ever. And the 211 social crisis diversion staff members, I know who they were there, 2 nurses just stood there, all 4 of them, just those 2 watching, and the RCMP just swearing and demanding that I get off the ground. And I get up and I pick up that fucking shopping cart and my luggage with full stuff and get the fuck going. In Red Deer, you'll die there. You're not allowed to sleep anywhere. You can't even get away from anything, and there are no resources. And I had to leave or I was gonna die. That's another story. And blah, blah, blah. And then I ended up in Grand Prairie trying to get my life back. And that was good until I was stalked. And I lost my motel room. And then I became vulnerable. And the staff at the motel room stole my belongings. And I couldn't get health care. And there was only one shelter. And it was a shit show. I got the manager there fired. And everybody doesn't just do one drug. They do all the drugs. And they drink. And I wanted to get the hell out of there. And that was a Hail Mary effort to do. Fighting for my life. Fighting for my life. Kinds of videos and things are going to come out if I can get that far. But almost every day for 4 years. So I've tripped over a U-Haul trailer hitch and fractured my right arm. And that's still, I'm sure, fractured. They told me not to use it. Well, that's impossible. I can hear everything. It hurts. My back has never been fixed from that 2.5-year-old injury that I know. I heard my lower back crack. Now I can't even sit, stand, or walk. I can barely lay on my side. My arm is still fractured. My left arm, my daughter and her roommate, that's why I never mentioned her, broke it. That was operated on. That's fine. I've got 3 titanium screws on my right hip from when I injured it a long time ago that was unrelated. So it's very painful to lay on my right side, my left side. I can only do for so long. And it hurts still because my sciatic nerves, no matter what position I'm in, are being pulled by all the ligaments and tendons that have been pulled by the fact that my spine is out of line, my lower back, my hips, whatever it is, if not broken. Nobody's done an x-ray down there. Nobody's done a CT scan. I haven't been able to get to the chiropractor or do physio. I've had two doctor's requisitions due that I can't keep up because when am I supposed to? When am I actually supposed to go get my colorectal cancer test done? I was going to, but I was working on getting emergency funding for other things and get paid back and do other legal things I'm responsible to do that my life depends upon, that I'm required to do. And then at the end of the day, my landlord keeps all my stuff, my belongings, my requisitions for the tests are there, my medications, my walker, my food, everything that I need, that was minimal that I had there. And then when am I supposed to go and get more? How am I supposed to get more requisitions sent, rebook more appointments, get all these tests done, and have anything to say to my family doctor other than it's too much, it's too long, and I'm so scared of being shut down, and get these videos out and explanations of that my doctor can understand, because if I lose my family doctor, I'm done. I need my family doctor. He's awesome, and he can only deal with, just so much. And I don't need to have a psychiatrist and talk about what. I don't have any psychological problems. I'm not there to talk about what's going on with me. I want my medical problems fixed. Stick to it. I don't even want to talk about all this emotional bullshit and mental anguish and suffering. I just want to solve the problems that I do have that are fixable, and not be inundated with more that I literally can't get out of. Like this. Like, I literally can't even get out of this dumpster now without somebody helping me. And I'm going to be filthy as fuck. So how am I supposed to just go and do anything being exhausted and filthy too? And freezing. It's minus, I don't know, out there. It's not that bad. At this point, I don't know, it's minus 8 or 9. Minus 8 or 9 outside. But I have been up. I have barely got any sleep whatsoever since I moved into Mo's house to rent that room. Barely any sleep, and I don't know how long I've been up for. And I'm starving, and I'm in pain, and so I don't have. My body just can't handle any amount of cold. I used to never get cold, and I don't have the health or the ability or the energy or the nutrients in me to burn the fuel. I couldn't even get my free glycernas. I could at least get 3 of those a day. I can't even get that coordinated, because where am I supposed to get them delivered to? And how the hell am I supposed to pick them up? I don't have any way. There's no way to do that either. Nobody has the time to I can't. There's too many things I'm trying to coordinate. I am pressing that are above all this all at the same time, which would have really helped. But then how am I supposed to carry them around, and where am I supposed to have them? Because I can't lift anything or carry anything. I can't walk, stand, or sit without it being excruciatingly painful. Okay, excruciatingly painful, damn near impossible at this point. And nobody gives a fuck, barely. I mean, there are people that do give a fuck, but they can't do anything about it. But most people don't give a fuck. You can explain the obvious, walking around with a walker and being in pain and moaning and groaning and asking for help. It's demeaning, but I have had to do that just to be able to purchase things in a store to reach up high. I can't do, or get down really low. I can't do. And I can't push a cart and a walker at the same time. And I'm going as fast as I can to get what I need. And people just, literally, I had a man push me out of the way and swear at me. A person at the bank tell me to hurry the fuck up. And store employees just not give a fuck. And hospital staff, literally, how many times I've been to the hospital now? Be the worst. All I've ever done is got torture there. I swore I'd never go back. But again, I didn't think it would be even worse, and every time worse, to the last point where I've got videos. And I better just shut this down. And I already lit one of my bags on fire. This is really not doable. Where am I supposed to sleep? This stuff is gonna all melt underneath me. I don't have any tarps and stuff to lay down there under the trees still from months ago when I've tried to coordinate getting help to pick them up, and there's never been any ability to do that with a limited amount of time. My my son doesn't want to help me do fuck all. He told me that. He doesn't want to do this shit. The very first time I finally got him telling me, get a laundromat and go to the first place I was going to rent. He told me that he wanted to do this shit. He was miserable, and then he told me I wasn't going to get this place to rent. He had me so worked up, I was crying. We had a big fight. He told me to shut up. I was telling him not to work me up like that, and why are you doing this? I'm a nervous wreck to begin with, and it's not shit. If you want me to get out of being homeless, I need a little bit of assistance to do that. I'm not asking to come and live with you and your girlfriend. And he's, I would never met his girlfriend. I just could go on and on and on and on and on, but I better just stop and so I'm gonna pee my pants. But the good news is I might as well just pee them. This is just not even what anybody can do. There's no ability whatsoever to have any control over what has happened to me. And again, if I can get this out there, if I still had my minivan that I had, I wouldn't be in this position. That would have given me some place to be inside, warm, drive around and get stuff done, not need help, and really, really, really uncomplicated things, and wouldn't have had me vulnerable, marginalized, and unhoused. That would have been, but Constable Albert already knows he's gonna lose his job, and I've already won a huge complicated case about how he basically charged me with a DUI without letting me know. And then I had my when I got pulled over, I got charged and my vehicle got impounded and blah, blah, blah. No, that's another story. I won, but that was too late. I couldn't pay the $1,500 to get the van out. I didn't know what was going on long enough. It was way too late for that. And then I got panhandling fines by one particular peace officer in Red Deer. There's always got to be one or two. They're mostly like this. Yeah, peace officers. Piece of shit. There's nothing peaceful about them, and they literally just, I answered all their questions and then some, and they just had no compassion, no heart to at least get me to somewhere where I'm just dumped off and have the wheelchair taken away from me, because that had to be an issue too. And I'm honest, I could have said it's mine. There was no stickers on it. Kept on going. But I don't want to do anything wrong. I'm definitely afraid of doing anything wrong. I'd rather be honest and try harder and do more. But they didn't have no heart, knowing my situation, and me not being belligerent at all, just complying, dying trying to stump me off where it's windy and I'm exposed and I can't even keep warm at all, and just tell me nothing, just take the wheelchair away, get me off the property in a really bad area, and take the wheelchair away, and know that I can't even move from that spot. I'd only be there if it wasn't for those young people that were drunk and annoying me to get me into here. I don't know what, I would have been dead an hour and a half ago. But this isn't anything more than just a slow, torturous death anyway, and I'm trying to keep alive and accomplish successfully just having a home where what happened with my last landlord and two prior to this, sexually assaulting me, it's on record. I've got proof and evidence of it all. To have that not happen, and I didn't put wet toilet paper on my ears and do extra cleaning, whatever it takes, just not to be abused and used in some way, have some ability to have my own room, and I paid good money for that. It was perfect, and then some, and I still have this happen. How cruel, how heartless, how evil, how set up, and how deliberate. This There's no words for it. And to now keep my walker and my food and my belongings at the same time. I've had to just have no ability to go and make extra money. I have bills to pay. I need to take my last pennies away and not give me the opportunity to do anything, accomplish anything about getting the emergency funding, back pay stuff, and the medical appointments, the physical caro and substantial, fleeing abuse allowance and stuff like that. And how that all could have been taken care of by now, and I could have had my food and my indoor. I paid for it. I did everything right. I could have had that all and done God knows what. I could have just solved it all already, pretty much. No, there's too much, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, how could... It's just... There's no... That's it. I guess this is it, man. The young folks gave me... That one girl gave me a jacket. I got 3... I can't get out of here. I can't even get out of here without help. I'm fucking freezing. I'm freezing, and there's no place to lie anything out. And this is just horrible. This is disgusting. This is what I gotta sleep in, and my body, one thought, and everything I do have will just be destroyed. And what am I supposed to do? I don't get paid that age disability income, but there's nothing to do with me mentally. It's to do with this doctor doing me a solid, getting that funding for me without me doing anything. He didn't even tell me about it. That was a huge surprise. He really cared. This one particular doctor, not here. And I don't get that until Monday at 12:30 at night. And well, I guess then what? I can't definitely even imagine that I'd actually have to crawl into a dumpster and make sure I have my lighter things away from the flyer things, and my bags don't go into that thing. And God, if there was a lid on this, that would just be golden. Another tin can. It's a good thing that I had these things. When I was preparing, and I was living in that motel and paying $100 a day, and I didn't know what I was preparing for or what I was to buy. There was some things that I learned the hardest way possible. Hardest way possible through trauma. Seriously, almost dying outside so many times that I needed certain things to keep warm and to keep clean. And never throw anything out, and multi-purpose everything, and be frugal, and be warm, and be clean, and have hygiene, and some, that's the main things. And really, that's all I bought, and some things to cook outdoors. And that's it. And basically camping things and scissors and being clean and looking decent and not having anyone judge me wrong, and not giving up, and having the opportunity to go inside buildings and warm up and not be immediately kicked out. really important. I've taught other homeless people. Have one nice outfit. At least invest into that. Have a haircut. Keep yourself groomed. If you get a sure, come support, or you can go panhandle. You got to work at it. You got to invest in some money in one backpack full of clean clothing, and keep your hair cut and be clean. Just have certain things you got to invest in if you ever want to get out of being homeless, because you're going to walk around, spend it all on drugs and alcohol and give up. They're just gonna, that's exactly where you're gonna be stuck. But they don't know, these young people, they don't know there's other options. So even when this past time I was there, when the staff member at the Hope Mission poured water on my fire that was totally fine for me to have and wouldn't give me a reason why, whatever. I was teaching everybody about how to make this little kind of fire, and where you could go inside and have a free locker. Invest in anytime fitness membership, $50 a month. You have a locker, you get a cheap lock on it, and you can go have a nice hot shower. Go keep the water on, pull the curtain, and have a nap or sleep at night. Go to Grant McEwen Library. There's lockers there. There's like 1,000 of them. Just invest into some nice clothing, and don't be a heat score. Don't do drugs, and look good, and get a lot good. If you're desperate, look at people. There's going to be haters already, because I'm getting really specific about little secrets. And if everybody did that, it wouldn't work. So you can't, But I've been doing things like that to get this far. And it's required a lot of mental wellness, emotional stability, effort, and no drug addiction or alcohols, and being positive and hopeful and concentrating on whatever you can do and not what you can't, and not dwelling on the past trauma, and not just ruminating on things. And the best way to get over something is get on with it. Some things don't make sense. Whatever you know and whatever you don't, there's no reason to sit on Facebook and ask what's up and be an idiot. It took me asking 6 guys at the Hope Mission last time I was there, and I didn't video this. 6 of them. They were 15 feet from the door where the sandwiches and water were being given out. At any time, you can at least get that. Like, I'm supposed to eat bread, but I'm starving. I was going to try to eat a plate of food and all the garbage all around there, but it was frozen. Or I would have ate it. And so I asked 6 guys to please, if you could get me a sandwich and bring it 15 feet, because I can't get up and walk over there. I'm in agonizing pain. I will give you $1, and everybody needs $1. Or more, yeah. Desperate for that. It took me about half an hour, and one guy finally did. Yep. Anyways, I could just go on. A lot of people are wanting to know these things, and that's who I'm there for. But I'm not able to help anyone or be a good example or do fuck all, literally. If my best option and only option is to be in a dumpster with no ability to get out of it, taking so much effort to be clean and have just some sleep at least, so that my pain isn't exacerbated and I can be sane, to go and hold up my sign and walk and lift and carry and make the money I need to, so that I don't have to deal with anything extra and do things that I know were not going to turn out good. I've been to the hospital how many times? They've never helped me. It's always turned out bad. That's another story. It turns out bad for everybody here in Alberta. I've heard stories that are worse than mine, but they have a place to go to, or they have some support, where, you know what, if people could just take me in, if one church, this Christian man who wanted me to go to his church, if his church, any church, for what the members tithe one Sunday, put together and donated it for one person like me who desperately deserves it at this point, and needs it. If you can't take me in, even if I'll pay, that's just an example of looking at it, and just give me the finances then that it takes to pay for a motel and not being able to cook and cabs and keep your bills up and buy the things that you need and get so that you can save time and work on the things that you need to do, that your life depends upon it. That would save my life and then some, if they could just do that one Sunday. I asked him so many times, asked him once, does your church have a benevolent fund? You know, I've never had luck with that either. That's one other horror stories. But if he's a kind man, I just heard, could you get, yes, he said, well, could you get those members to call me? Somebody call me, the benevolent members to call me. He knows everything, so that I can talk to them about getting the financial help that I need to just get into a motel for a month and not be desperate and push on other things and do something, get my TANs back up, and in the winter, it's just something so I can work on my health and get the pain, to, get my back fixed, and to get my testing done, and so that my doctor can write the letters. Nobody's taught why I'm in this situation, and just so that I can get the funding that's available that I've been told by a supervisor I can get. Thousands of dollars are at stake. I still have to call corporate head office, U-Haul North America. I had a legal representative there ready to award me emotional distress after what, just another story, and I couldn't keep up. There's deadlines and all kinds of things that are important that would save my life and then some. But I can't do anything if I'm in a fucking dumpster with no ability to do anything physically, and be in worse and worse condition, and not even have my mental ability to even think, because I'm so exhausted and stressed out and emotionally, like I said in another video, you don't want to ask everything all at once and nothing at the same time, like a living dead person who's lost her faith in God, because I would never do this to my son. God knows this is not, if I'm supposed to have this grandiose purpose and make all this difference like I have, and make a difference in the world for one thing, it's too late to do another Jesus and Buddha and all these alien things and whatever species I'm in, do anything significant so that 2,000 years later, people can put the stories together about who I am and put my stuff together and figure out that I really was a significant, special person on this earth who did have superhuman abilities to not die and miracles. Well, that doesn't mean fucking shit. It's 2,000 years from now. If I can be lucky, if it's 20 years from now, there's not going to be any more human beings on this earth, because this is what we've done. This is what we've done with all the enlightened peacemakers and other non-human biologics and archaeological findings and scientific research has proven all this. Whatever you want to believe, the basic facts are we never were supposed to live like this. And I don't care about making a difference. If it's gonna be for one person at the expense of my son, this kills me. He won't even talk to me now. Be so disgusted because my landlord was phoning my son and telling my son all kinds of bad things and lies about me, and my son doesn't understand to begin with. He thinks it's my fault. At the end of the day, it's his way of coping. He doesn't know. And, yeah, so, to be a fucking martyr and die tragically so that it's going to be a bigger deal to the world, to more people. A girl in a dumpster dies and they find out who I am, and people come forward and say, oh, she was this and that, and then it become such a big deal, and then people start doing inquests and investigations, and I've got enough out there, and whatever, if that's going to be just this big, hugest deal, like somebody said it was going to be, and I predicted this, what is that going to do? God and all of Jesus and Buddha and the aliens, they've all given up. Look if you know anything and you have any intelligence or know what the fuck is going on in the world, watch anything intelligent, you'd know all this. What people are so dumbed down, and people watch for entertainment purposes people suffering and going through these kind of things on Facebook or on reels or in movies for entertainment. We don't watch movies or documentaries or read books or watch anything on the internet unless it's for entertainment. You don't watch people going through this, and there's enough of that out there that's what it's become. This is entertainment. People are so desensitized that this is what you get. But my son hasn't been desensitized, neither have I, and a lot of other people die tragically and freezing to death in dumpsters and under bridges. Yes, and it's taken miracles for me not to do that. This is the first time I've ever had to crawl into a dumpster. And I couldn't even do that without help. So that's it. That's it. God, aliens, just let me die already. I want to live so bad. But if this is the way it's going to be, it's not worth it. I just want my son, Logan Krebs. To go into my Google Photos and look at all my videos and post them on YouTube and call the Human Rights Commissions and lawyers and shelters, or give it to other contacts in my phone, or give it to somebody else in the system like Adelise or Val or the 211 social diversion people, my doctor, my pharmacist, the people that do care, Kelly, John, that would do something with this at least, so that, because it is complicated, and get it going. My son to at least know that I didn't give up. I've turned everything around that I possibly could and made it work for me. I'm a strong person. I'll do anything and everything that's legal, moral, and I'll do the impossible. I've done it. And I'll pray and have faith over fear and be a true good Christian and give God the glory and be spiritual and positive too. I put it all together, and if this is what I get, that landlord deserves more than to just be giving me my damage deposit back and my belongings, of course, and probably a good half my rent money, because I was only there for about 2.5 weeks, and be awarding me emotional distress money. There's no amount of money in the world that you could award me for having to go through what I've been through in this one past week. I would have done anything, and I pretty much did it and ate shit. And all my videos show me doing is just being desperate and frantic and out of breath and just okaying to everything I can pretty much, and just not arguing and doing whatever it is he says, and just saying I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And that's not my, I'm not saying, not getting belligerent or hostile, refusing to comply with anything that's illegal that he's making me do or whatever. Not once did I swear at him or raise my voice. I did extra. I got thank you, good jobs, and my screenshots, and he deserves There's nothing, I've never met anyone more evil, and he deserves just anything that you could think of that anyone could put together. That's the worst possible thing that anyone could go through and be kept alive forever going through this. He deserves to be tortured and go. There's no words. He deserves to pay a huge price for doing this to me. I'm fighting other legal battles. I read it, did my research, and made the best of my time in the hospital. There was no ability to sleep. Yep. There you go.